I want to begin by pointing out the differences I perceive between focus and clarity, as someone might want to know what the differences are between my pure focus app and the compelling clarity app. Focus is the ability to bring awareness or concentration to a single focal point or a center. Clarity is the ability to perceive patterns, similarities, differences, parts, and wholes in order to gain perspective on a decision, situation, or a scenario. Ultimately, compelling clarity is about getting beyond your everyday perceptions, which can become clouded or biased due to your paradigm or the opinions of others. In the book, A Separate Reality, Carlos Castaneda is taught by the shaman Don Juan various ways of altering his perception. Now, if you haven't read any of Carlos Castaneda's writings, I encourage you to do so, and to do so with an open mind, because he's telling stories that are relevant on many levels. In this story, the shaman Don Juan is trying to teach the obstinate Carlos Castaneda how to live as a man of knowledge. I bring this up because Don Juan touches upon the essence of big picture clarity in life. And he implies that the average person goes about endeavoring and struggling to try to make truly insignificant things happen during one's lifetime. In more ways than just one, I compare this to the everyday distractions that you and I are faced with. It's very easy for us to be swept off course by our non-beneficial or negative ego drives. And these are mostly concerned with, what will other people think about me? How do I experience pleasure, even if it might be at the cost of someone else? Or how do I avoid pain, even though pain might be a beneficial part of my personal development? In Castaneda's book, the shaman Don Juan states a powerful truism. He says that a man of knowledge understands that life will be over altogether too soon. He knows, just like everybody else, that he is going nowhere. He knows this because he sees that nothing is more important than anything else. I challenge you to consider that statement, that nothing is more important than anything else. Think about various times in your life where you've placed more importance on one element or one aspect of life than the other. But it was you who determined what the meaning was. You associated that meaning. If I could be so bold as to read between the lines of what the shaman Don Juan is saying to Carlos Castaneda, it is this, that you are free to assign meaning and importance to your perceptions. The shaman Don Juan says the following: I told you once that our lot as men is to learn, for good or bad, he said. I have learned to see, and I tell you that nothing really matters. Now it is your turn. Perhaps someday you will see, and you will know then whether things matter or not. For me, nothing matters, but perhaps for you, everything will. You should know by now that a man of knowledge lives by acting, not by thinking about acting, nor by thinking about what he will think when he has finished acting. A man of knowledge chooses a path with heart and follows it, and then he looks and rejoices and laughs. And then he sees and knows. He knows that his life will be over altogether too soon. He knows that he, as well as everybody else, is not going anywhere. He knows because he sees that nothing is more important than anything else. Thus, a man of knowledge endeavors and sweats and puffs, and if one looks at him, he is just like any ordinary man, except that the folly of his life is under control. Nothing being more important than anything else, a man of knowledge chooses any act and acts it out as if it matters to him. His controlled folly makes him say that what he does matters and makes him act as if it did, and yet he knows that it doesn't. So when he fulfills his acts, he retreats in peace, and whether his acts were good or bad or worked or didn't, it is in no way part of his concern. In light of this, if everything is folly and nothing is more important than anything else, then you must have clarity about the actions you choose to take during this lifetime. I realize that this poses a paradoxical problem for you. If nothing has any value, then you are free, you are liberated in your pursuit of meaning. My purpose is to give you the tools and the resources you need in order to make conscious decisions by design, instead of reacting to your environment by default. In the Compelling Clarity program, you'll have the opportunity to adjust the submodalities or the finer distinctions of your internal experience when it comes to your decision-making strategy for clarity. You'll also become aware of how to control your internal imagery, your self-talk, and your bodily feelings while in this situation. The more you practice and refine your internal experience, the sharper your 5 senses will become in the real world. This will empower you to cut through the obstacles to clarity. In this program, you'll have the opportunity to bring in experts who can share supporting or opposing viewpoints. The purpose of this is to draw out information and possibilities that you might have been overlooking. You already have a unique way of experiencing clarity, and likewise, a unique strategy for not experiencing clarity. What this program will help you to do is to highlight the positive, beneficial aspects and elements of your current strategy for clarity while bringing in additional resources that will help you to create an empowering strategy. Trust the process. Be amazing.